Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling a really critical area for pretty much any business: logistics and warehousing.
Yeah, it's a world facing some serious, well, headwinds right now.
Definitely, we're talking labor shortages, costs are going up, supply chains are just getting more complex.
Uh-huh. And all of these challenges are really pushing companies to find, smarter ways to operate.
They have to, right? The old ways just aren't really cutting it anymore.
Not with the scale and how interconnected everything is now. Innovation, it's essential, not just nice to have.
And that brings us neatly to Ground Inc. They're a Japanese tech company started back in April 2015.
Right. And they seem to be making quite a splash in this space.
They do. Their CEO, Hirotomo Miyata, has this incredible background. We're talking Sanwa Bank, Deloitte Tomatsu Consulting, Askell.
And Rakuten, importantly. He actually set up Rakuten Logistics.
Exactly. So he knows logistics inside and out, from like finance and consulting to actual e-commerce operations.
That kind of diverse experience gives Ground a really insightful edge, I think. They understand the problems from multiple angles.
Absolutely. And their mission. It's all about digitally transforming logistics using AI, robotics, mathematical optimization, basically tech.
Harnessing data and tech to, well, revolutionize how things get done in the warehouse and beyond.
So they offer a few key things, right? There's GWES, that's the Ground Warehouse Execution System.
Yes, GWES, plus robot solutions, and they also do consulting and engineering services.
It sounds like a very integrated approach, hardware and software working together.
That's the idea. It's holistic.
Okay, so for you listening, our mission here is to really get under the hood of Ground. We want to understand their capabilities, especially this GWES platform.
And how it tackles those big challenges we mentioned, the labor shortages, cost, complexity.
Right. So let's start from the beginning. How did Ground actually get going and, how did their solutions develop?
Well, they started in 2015.
Mm.
And pretty quickly, in 2016, they formed an alliance, a capital and business one, with an Indian robot venture.
Ah, okay, so robotics was in the picture early on.
Yes. That let them introduce GTP robots, goods-to-person robots, into Japan.
Interesting. GTP, what came next?
Then, in 2018, they started developing their own AI software for logistics, things called Intelligent II, or IE and DIAS.
Okay, so IE and DIAS, what were they for?
They were focused on visualizing what's happening in the warehouse and optimizing things, better visibility, better control.
So building the intelligence layer, basically.
Kinda, yeah, to complement the hardware. Then 2019, they moved into AMRs, autonomous mobile robots.
AMRs, right, different from GTP.
Yeah, much more flexible. They developed these jointly with a Chinese partner, and Ground was actually the first to offer this type of AMR in Japan.
First in Japan with these AMRs. Okay, so we have GTPs, then AI software, then AMRs. How does GWES fit in?
GWES is the culmination, really. Launched in 2021, it brought together the functionalities of IE and DIAS, but added their own proprietary algorithms.
Ah, so GWES is the integrated platform that orchestrates everything.
Exactly. It represents that whole journey from GTP focus to AI software to AMRs, all managed now by this central WES.
Okay, GWES. Clearly central to what they do. Can you break down what it is? What does it actually do for a company?
Sure. Think of GWES as like the digital brain for a logistics facility. It's designed for integrated management and, importantly, optimization.
The brain. I like that.
Yeah. Its main jobs are providing real-time visibility, seeing what's happening right now, using AI to predict future workloads.
Predicting workloads, that sounds useful.
Very. And then offering various optimization tools to make everything run smoother, faster, cheaper.
So it's not just monitoring, it's actively trying to improve things based on data and predictions.
Precisely. The aim is to seriously boost accuracy and efficiency in warehouse operations.
How does it connect with other systems? Most companies already have things like a WMS, right?
Right. And GWES is designed to integrate seamlessly with systems like a WMS, warehouse management system, or a TMS, transportation management system.
Okay, so it enhances the whole logistics chain, not just the warehouse itself.
That's the goal. And it's not just for huge operations either.
Oh.
No, it's scalable. It works for companies with just one distribution center, but also for those managing, complex networks of multiple centers.
Scalability is key. Now, WES, that sounds a bit like WEMS. What's the
Right.
difference? People might get this confused.
That's a fair point. There are basically two main flavors of WES. One is what you might call a control-based WES.
Control-based.
Yeah, it focuses on directly managing the physical automation, telling the robots exactly where to go, controlling conveyor belts, that sort of thing.
Okay. And the other type?
The other type is an information-based WES, and that's where GWES sits.
Information-based, right. So what does that mean in practice?
It means GWES is more about providing the big picture, visualization of the whole operation, analyzing the data, providing decision support. It's like less about controlling each robot's individual step and more about being the air traffic controller for the whole warehouse.
Ah, the air traffic controller analogy, that helps. Overseeing everything, making sure it all flows efficiently.
Exactly. It uses information and intelligence for overall optimization. It works with the WMS and can even interface with those control-based WES systems that might be managing specific automation islands.
Got it. So for a company thinking about this, what are the big tangible benefits they'd get from implementing GWES?
Okay, several key ones. First up, real-time visibility.
Seeing everything as it happens.
Yep. Instantly understanding progress on tasks, resource status. You can spot bottlenecks or issues immediately. No more waiting for end-of-shift reports.
Which means you can react faster, make better decisions on the fly.
Absolutely. Much more proactive management. That's a huge plus.
Okay, what's benefit number two?
Number two is the workload forecasting, their WF module.
Right, you mentioned prediction earlier. How accurate is it?
It's designed to be highly accurate.
Yeah.
It uses historical data, but also factors in things like upcoming promotions, seasonal peaks, events that impact demand.
So it helps with planning,
Yeah.
staffing, resources.
Precisely. It allows for much better planning, avoiding being over or understaffed, and the latest version is quite advanced.
How so?
It uses sophisticated models to understand patterns, growth, seasonality, trends, and it automatically adjusts its parameters based on actual results, so it's constantly learning and refining its predictions. It looks at things like, is growth linear or nonlinear? Is seasonality adding to the base or multiplying it? How strong are the trends? Things like that.
Wow, okay. That sounds like it removes a lot of guesswork. What's next?
The third big one is optimization of resources and processes.
Optimization, using math.
Essentially, yes. Advanced mathematical optimization techniques. GWES uses these to fine-tune all sorts of things. Like, where's the best place to store inventory? What's the most efficient route for a worker picking an order? When's the ideal time to replenish stock? Even planning delivery routes.
So it's actively figuring out the best way to do things.
Exactly. To cut down time, reduce costs, and make sure resources, people, equipment are used as effectively as possible.
Makes sense. And the fourth benefit, you mentioned scalability earlier.
Yes, flexible scalability. It integrates smoothly with other systems like WMS and TMS for unified data.
Right.
And critically, it can scale across multiple warehouses. So as your business grows, GWES can grow with it. You're not locked into a single site solution.
That's important for growing businesses. Okay, we've got the platform, the benefits. Can we dive into some specific modules? What can GWES actually do function by function?
Sure. It's a modular, so companies can pick and choose. For instance, there's the Workload Analyzer, WA.
WA, what does that analyze?
Past performance. It digs into historical data to show you productivity trends, cost structures for different tasks. Basically, understanding how things have been working.
Okay, looking backwards to understand. What about the present?
That's where the Progress Analyzer, PA, comes in. That's your real-time dashboard.
The visibility piece we talked about?
Exactly. Tracks work progress live, flags anomalies, and even lets you run simulations. Like, what if we changed this process? What would happen?
Simulations, cool. What about inventory?
There's the Inventory Analyzer, IA. It visualizes where your stock is, highlights uneven distribution, slow-moving items.
Helping optimize storage and replenishment.
Precisely. And building on that is the Slotting Optimizer.
Slotting. That's about where you put things.
Yes. It figures out the optimal location for each product based on things like shipping frequency to minimize how far pickers have to travel.
Less walking, more picking. Makes sense.
Then you have the Routing Optimizer,
Yeah.
RO. This calculates the most efficient paths for pickers within the warehouse.
Okay, so ISO decides the location, RO decides the path to get there.
Right. It can do things like batching orders together, rearranging the pick sequence for efficiency, minimizing movement.
Very clever. What about getting things out the door?
That's the Delivery Optimizer, DO. It optimizes delivery plans, routes, modes of transport to cut costs and reduce lead times.
And you mentioned a success story with that one.
Yeah, that pilot at NTT Logisco, they used DO and saw a 25% reduction in transport costs. That's significant.
25%. Wow. Okay, any other key modules?
One more really interesting one is the Resource Allocator.
Resource allocator. People. Robots.
Primarily people, but conceptually, yes. It automatically assigns the optimal personnel to tasks based on real-time progress and predicted workload.
Automatically.
Yes, it can adjust assignments on the fly to maintain service levels while minimizing costs. It considers staff skills, shifts, productivity data
And it can simulate different allocation patterns quickly.
very quickly, finding the best fit based on all those variables.
That sounds incredibly powerful for managing labor effectively. It really feels like a comprehensive suite.
It is. It aims to cover the key optimization points in a warehouse.
You mentioned earlier this shift towards software being central. How does GWS fit into that broader trend?
It's a perfect example, really. Think about other industries, IT moving to the cloud, communications going mobile, even cars becoming software-defined.
Right, software is driving everything now.
Exactly. In the past, logistics was very hardware-focused, forklifts, conveyors, manual labor. Now, systems like GWES are becoming the brain, the central nervous system.
The software orchestrates the physical operations?
Precisely. Data, AI, optimization algorithms, these are now the key levers for improving speed, cost, and efficiency in logistics. It's a fundamental shift.
A paradigm shift, really. Now, Ground also has a specific methodology, GPI.
Yes, GPI, the Ground Process Improvement Methodology. It's their structured way of helping companies improve logistics operations.
Okay. What does it involve?
It's a five-phase approach. Systemization, visualization, automation, optimization, and autonomization.
Systemization, visualization, automation, optimization, autonomization. Can you quickly break those down?
Sure. Systemization is about standardizing processes, getting the basics organized. Visualization is using data, maybe tools like GWES modules, to see what's actually happening, find the bottlenecks.
Makes sense. Then automation.
Automation is introducing tech robotics, AI, to handle repetitive tasks. Optimization is applying those advanced analytics and math to really fine-tune everything for peak efficiency.
And the last one, autonomization.
That's the ultimate goal. Creating a system that can learn, adapt, and improve itself over time, driven by data, becoming more autonomous.
It sounds like a clear roadmap for digital transformation in logistics. Now, Ground doesn't just do software and methods, they also have robots, right?
Correct. They offer actual robot solutions to bring automation directly onto the warehouse floor, mainly AMRs.
Autonomous mobile robots. What's special about them compared to, say, older AGVs?
The big difference is autonomy. AMRs navigate independently using sensors and maps. They don't need fixed tracks. They can work alongside humans safely and reroute themselves if they encounter obstacles.
Much more flexible.
Exactly. Much more adaptable to dynamic environments. Less infrastructure needed, too.
And what do companies typically use these AMRs for?
Common uses are supporting picking the robot, might follow the picker, or bring goods to them. Also, replenishing inventory on shelves autonomously and transporting goods between different zones, like receiving to storage or picking to packing.
And Ground has different types.
Yes, they have the Pier series with different weight capacities, 50 kilograms, 100 kilograms, and a faster BIMA Plus version.
Yeah.
And then the Oasis series for heavier loads, going from 300 kilograms up to 1,200 kilograms.
So options depending on the need. And they help companies implement these. It's not just selling the hardware.
No, absolutely not. They provide end-to-end support, from figuring out the requirements, analyzing the site, deploying the robots, to monitoring and improving performance afterwards. They really partner with the client.
And how do the robots like the Pier series work together with GWS? Is there integration?
Oh yeah, deep integration. That's key to maximizing the benefit.
How so? Give me an example.
Okay, so the GWES workload forecasting, WF module, predicts picking needs, right? That allows for optimized scheduling of the Pier robots.
Right.
The progress analyzer, PA, tracks the robots in real time. The workload analyzer, WA, assesses their performance. The resource allocator, RA, can assign tasks optimally between humans and robots.
Ah, so RA isn't just for people.
It can factor in robots too. And the slotting optimizer, SO, can even refine product placement based on robot movement patterns to make things more efficient for everyone.
It really is a synergistic system, software brain, robot workforce.
That's a good way to put it.
Beyond the tech, they also offer consulting, right?
They do, covering things like overall logistics strategy, warehouse design, operational flows.
And helping implement systems, not just GWES.
Right, implementation support for GWES, but also for WMS, TMS. Plus general business improvement, promoting digital transformation, DX.
And I assume their consulting leverages their tech expertise, data AI.
Heavily. Real-time data, AI analytics, automation know-how, are central to their recommendations, and they use that GPI methodology as a framework, especially for diagnostics.
Diagnostics, tell me about that.
They have a couple of options. A free initial assessment, basically a detailed discussion covering about 50 points, benchmarking the company against the GPM stages, helps identify challenges.
A quick health check.
Sort of. Then there's a more detailed paid diagnostic service. That goes deeper, developing specific improvement plans, roadmaps for AI and robotics, how best to use GWES. It's a full strategic plan for modernization.
So it gives companies a clear starting point and a path forward. That sounds valuable. Now, we've talked a lot about what GWS can do, who's actually using it. Any real-world examples?
Yes, quite a few interesting ones. Mitsubishi Logistics is using precursor systems, PA, WA, SO, RO, across, get this, 42 sites.
42.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tresco Nakayama plans to use WF, PA, WA, and RA in 5 sites by 2026. They'll be the first full RA implementation.
The resource allocator.
Okay. We mentioned NTT Logisco already, the DO pilot saving 25% on transport, and they've rolled out SO across 3 sites.
Right.
Cow Corporation, big consumer goods company, they're rolling out WF, PA, WA across 44 sites by 2025.
Another huge rollout.
Definitely. Nippon Express Holdings is also going nationwide using WF, PA, WA, IA, SO. First site done, more domestic and international planned.
Global players adopting it.
NCX Cargo planning WF, PA, WA, IA, SO, RO across 14 sites by 2027. Toyota Tsusho has it in Thailand using WF, SO, RO. And there's another company implementing almost the full suite WF, PA, WA, IA, SO, RO domestically now, with plans for the U.S.
That's a really diverse list, different industries, different scales, domestic and international. It speaks volumes about the platform's applicability.
It really does.
Okay, one last comparison point. How does GWS stack up against other WES solutions out there, particularly maybe in the competitive U.S. market?
There was a market analysis, actually, by Exa Innovation Studio. They compared GWES to some big names in the U.S., Manhattan Associates, Honeywell, Bastion, Softon, others.
And what did they find? How did GWES compare on features?
They looked at things like visualization, forecasting accuracy, optimization capabilities for labor, inventory, routing, delivery, data integration, mapping, the whole gamut.
And the verdict.
The analysis suggested GWES holds its own very well. It shows strong capabilities, particularly in visualization, workload forecasting, resource planning and allocation, that RA module, inventory analysis and slotting, ISO, routing, RO, and even delivery optimization, DO.
So strong across the board.
Pretty much. Its foundational abilities, like data integration and map creation, were also noted as highly competitive. It seems to offer a really robust feature set compared to established players.
Okay, that's good context. It suggests Ground is genuinely bringing a powerful, globally competitive solution to the table.
That seems to be the case, addressing complex, modern logistics needs effectively.
All right, let's try and pull this all together. If you had to summarize the key takeaways about Ground and GWS for our listeners, what would they be?
I think the main thing is their integrated, comprehensive approach. It's not just software or just robots or just consulting. It's the combination.
The holistic view.
Exactly. They use that GWES platform, which is really powerful, alongside robotics and their expertise, to tackle those big industry challenges we started with.
And GWES itself, as the central engine, delivers those core benefits.
Right. Better efficiency through visibility and optimization, lower costs through smarter resource use, and just better, faster decision-making thanks to the AI and analytics.
It really feels like this software-driven approach is becoming, well, essential, not optional anymore.
I think you're right. Ground's solutions are definitely future-focused. It highlights how critical data, AI, and automation are becoming for building supply chains that are, resilient and efficient enough for tomorrow.
So here's something for you, the listener, to think about. As businesses rely more and more on hyper-efficient supply chains just to stay competitive, how vital will these kinds of integrated AI-powered platforms like GWES actually become?
It really poses the question of how companies will leverage these tools, not just to survive, but to really gain that crucial competitive edge in the future. Makes you think, doesn't it?